It is after midnight. It's gonna be a little harder. Someone who's never done this before. We're putting the seat back in because it's really cold and I want to work on this. So we're putting the seat in and driving to the shop. It's been sitting now for maybe a couple weeks. Let's see how it starts. Some of the tools loaded up. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna take this thing off. Oh, well, that didn't take much. There we go, I don't mind that. I'll definitely be locking these hubs. Quite the hole right there. This is gonna be quite interesting. Boy, is it cold. Probably gonna want 4x4 to get out of my spot. Well, we've got the truck inside. I started cutting out this rocker panel here. And then I took the seats out and the carpet and everything in between. I think now I'll actually start with taking this door off. I might even start removing this fender before the door. Well, we just got the fender off. And now with the fender off, we can access the floor pan a lot better here. Looks like someone has addressed this right here with some caulk. We definitely don't need any of that there. And just an open seam, actually. Well, this all has been hard to film, but I'm working on getting out this factory sound deadening, which thankfully hasn't been too hard so far. I think initially to start getting things cleaned up, I'll take out the sections that I know for sure are rusted through. So starting small, and then I'll expand. Well, it's the next day, Thursday, Saturday morning. I found myself a little daunted by the task yesterday, but I still managed to cut out a nice square of rust, clean up the area with a wire wheel. There's still a lot yet to go, and today I want to have the floorboards ready for new metal to go in. Yesterday I also took the front fender off and the door to open up my workspace. Now here's what we're dealing with in the driver's side. The passenger side probably won't even need any removal, maybe just some pour 15 and some grinding. But over here is quite the project. And as someone who's never done this before, it's hard to get an idea of what I need to remove and what I need to keep. It's easy to get caught up in your head. This obviously needs to go, so why not start with that? And that's something I'm worried could be a little technical. But I think we've got it going. Oh, no way. There's a nut on the bottom. The old vice grip trick, a bad idea? Nope, worked great. There we go, that's all out of there. So now we can really clean this area up. We'll wire wheel it down to get a good idea. Well, to clean this area up some more, I'm actually gonna pull it out into the cold, and then hopefully we can hit it with the cutting wheel from there. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's slowly starting to look a lot better, and this is promising. Looks like most spots I'm able to get below the rust, and shouldn't need to cut much out back here, which is great. But I'll keep going and I'll keep finding out, especially on here. And I'll move and do the same thing to the front so that I have a better idea of areas that I'll have to for sure cut out, or the areas I can keep and paint and seal up. There we go, guys. Not quite done, but it's definitely starting to look better. I'll give you a good look of what we're working with here. Check back in after I've made some progress. Before we get started this evening though, I'm going to take the seat out and take the door off again. So here, there was a bit of a gap, so I had to use a lot of material to fill. Now here's this edge, and here's this edge. Not too bad, but not too pretty either. And just seeing the clean metal in place of that rusted out floorboard is really satisfying. Now I'm going to be working on getting my sheet metal cut to fit the rest of the space. It's going to be a little harder to get the right fit cut. So I'm gonna do a little bit of work on this, see if I can get this to fit better, and then I think it'll be good to go and weld in. All right, I think we've got it a lot better, to the point that I can jam it in there, and it should be a tight fit. All right, so here's what we're working with. Ignore this mess right here, but I just got these little welds right here. Getting this panel to fit just right for welding. So now that's very nice and flush. Now that's and it's awesome just to see this fresh metal going in there. Well, unfortunately ran into some troubles around the cab mount, but I cut this triangle after I measured. That triangle is roughly welded in. Pretty sure there's no more pinholes, but as you can see, it looks very ugly. And then I'll probably have to do some touch up from there. But it's still overall looking pretty great. But it's getting late in the evening and it's a work night. Well, hopefully it looks pretty good on camera, but this is what we've got done so far. And I'm calling it quits for the night. It's nearly 10 p.m. and I'm exhausted. But thankfully for you guys watching, the video doesn't end here. Well guys, day 3 or 4, I don't know, let's get into it. So this is stage right here. I'm gonna have to be working on fixing this spot, which ended up to be rusted out. So I'll have to cut out this whole portion here that connects. Hopefully this side right here is okay. I'll just cut out this, re-weld in a corner piece like this, and then I'll finish up the rest of the hole in the floor. And by then we should really be getting somewhere good. I cut this piece to fit in right there. So that's where that'll be going. But all of this metal that was once up here that rusted through, I don't want to leave that in there ideally. And this had been previously cut by the previous owners that filled this up with caulking. So that's perfect because I'll finish cutting that so that we can access all this metal that I want to remove. Got a bit better of a spot for this to fit in. Certainly not looking half bad.
I'll lift it up to fill this gap, and as long as this metal right here is solid to weld to, that'll be it right there. Two tack welds to get it in place. Now we'll clean up the area here more with the wire wheel. Well, this is welding in nicely, but all of this old metal might need to go.
Yes, that's just what I wanted.
Well, this was pretty satisfying. I cleaned up this area in here and then did some pour 15 and then sprayed this Rust-Oleum black enamel in there before I seal it up. Alright everybody, check out this beautiful creation. This will hopefully be the majority of where your feet rest. I will hopefully get it fit up in there.
Here's something awesome.
Currently tacking in almost the final corner piece here.
Well everybody, it is after midnight now, and I've been working on this truck all day, but I finally did it. I finally closed up the driver's side floor area, which was a huge job. I did it just with a flux core welder and some 16 gauge sheet metal, and a grinder of course. And pretty much what I'm gonna do now is apply pour 15 everywhere before I park it, and that'll be a great spot to leave it until I come back to it next time. Without further ado, I think that will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.